Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. In this video I'm going to take some olive tree cuttings. I'm also going to talk about the basics of olive tree care, and olive tree care in actual fact is quite basic. It's not rocket science. Now in this long border here along the side of the cottage I have 4 of these rather beautiful, in my opinion, standard lollipop olive trees. And on the opposite side of my driveway, just beyond my new watering hole feature, I have 3 very mature olive trees. I've got 3 of these. I've had these for nearly 3 years. The lollipops I've had for nearly a decade. Now, only a few weeks ago, I've attempted to do air layering on this branch, on this mature olive tree. I want to try and make a lollipop. And in this video, I want to try and make several lollipop olives from cuttings. I'm going to take some cuttings from these mature olive trees, but I'm also going to take some cuttings from the base of one of the lollipops. Let me show you something. I want to focus in on this one, the second one along. Now, before we go any further, let me drop in some footage of what this olive tree looked like only 6 months ago. And you will be shocked and surprised, as am I. And it's come back to life with gusto. And the reason it's come back to life was I gave it a good prune, and I have been feeding it at the base with slow release. Now, the reason that got into such a shocking state was because it had a really strong wind coming through here. The prevailing wind all through the winter was coming through here. I have since erected this fence, and you can see a video on how I did that on my channel. I'll link to it in the description box below this. But that fence there now is protecting this. Now we're in November. So as we go into winter, this plant won't have the same problem as it had last year. And indeed, these 2 olives here, and again, this one was in just as sorry a state as that one. These 2 will catch up with the other 2, which have always been in the lee of the property, the lee of the house. So they've always been sheltered from the prevailing wind. They came through last winter and the previous winters with shining colours. These 2 really suffered. But they've rewarded me. They've come back to life. This one has also rewarded me with growth at the bottom. Let me show you. So if I remove this pot of geraniums out of the way, you can see very clearly here. It's growing out from the bottom. And what lovely, lush, healthy growth that is. I suspect that's probably a shock response from when the upper part of this tree was struggling. It's decided to try and survive by growing from the bottom. And I don't want this growth at the bottom, so it's going to be removed, but it's not going to go to waste because 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 of these will be cut off and turned into cuttings. My objective is to try and get 8 lollipops to put into a formal parterre that I'm going to make in the future. We're now in November. I'm hoping that by springtime next year, these and the ones from the mature olive trees and the air-laid olive will all have roots on. So next summer, I'll be able to go ahead and make my new formal parterre rose garden. But that's a project for the future. Today's project is taking the cuttings. And this is the kit. I'll go over to the table and I'll show you what I've got. Now, before I go any further with the cuttings, just indulge me for 30 seconds whilst I tell you that on the table here are all the things that I'm giving away in my December giveaway gift bundle for club members. And if you want to know what that's all about, there is a link to details about my club in the description box below this video. Currently, you can join my club for only £12 a year. That's £1 a month. And we have a draw every month and we give away things like this. Right, let's get back to the cuttings. Now, I always think that taking cuttings is potentially a very high return, low risk occupation. It's probably going to take me about 5 minutes to do this. all the things that I'm using I've already got, and I could end up with quite a high number of successful cuttings, which would cost me quite a bit of money to buy in a nursery. That's probably what nurseries do, isn't it? They take cuttings, grow plants on, and for their time they're rewarded with profits. But I'm going to try and do it myself, and I've done this many times successfully before. So let me run you through what I've got here. These are my secateurs, which I will be removing the cuttings from the parent plant with. I have some rooting powder, a very sharp craft knife and a chopping board. That's a kettle of boiling water. You'll see what that's for in a minute. And I have pre-prepared the pots, which I'm going to plant into. This is very well drained soil. You can see here, in actual fact, this is spent compost. This compost is what some tetrapanics I bought came in, so I'm reusing it. It will be spent. There won't be very many nutrients in there, but that doesn't matter. We're not feeding a plant. We're providing a medium for it to put roots into. But what I like about this is it's very gritty. It's got lots of small stones and rocks and grit in it, which will aid drainage. Olives love drainage. It will also allow oxygen to get into the planting medium. So that's our compost. Now I have already pre-soaked these pots. I've given them a really good watering, because when I plant into them and I've put some of this rooting powder onto the stems, I don't want to wash it all away, so it's already soaked in advance. I also have half a bucket of water, because when I take the cuttings they're going straight into water to keep them hydrated, and a kettle of boiled water. It's actually just boiled. And why have I got that? Well, I've used these tools before, so I am actually going to sterilize them very quickly by pouring this boiling water over them. Now, you might think that's a little bit pedantic or over the top because they're going into dirty soil. And I would partly agree with you, but I just think it's good practice that there might be some disease on there. And the more chance these cuttings have got, the better. Right, let's go and take the cuttings, put them in the bucket, then come back here and treat those stems before we plant them into the soil. Now, there's no great element of skill to this part of the process other than clean, sharp tools and take off more than you need and keep them hydrated. Now, this is going to be another one of my Mark's House and Garden experiments, because I'm going to do small, medium and large cuttings. All the information I found on the internet about taking cuttings said that the cutting should be 12 inches long. Well, I want mine to be slightly bigger than that, so we're going to have a go with some slightly bigger ones. I'm going to take them back to the table to process them, but for now I'm just going to get some cuttings off this one here and obviously off the mature trees. And of course I am going to be looking for branches with a bit of length and a bit of straightness to them. And again, I'm taking more than I need. Don't worry about these side shoots for now, they will be coming off. I'm taking more than I need, and I will prune them back when I do the processing. Unfortunately, I've got 3 of these plants, so I've got more scope for harvesting nice long straight branches. Now, the first part of this process is going to be trimming. I'm going to remove a lot of the foliage, but some of these trimmings could well become cuttings in their own right. For example, that nice straight branch there, if I trim that down and take a bit more off here, that could well be one of my medium-sized ones. So we'll keep that, and this could be one of the larger ones, so we'll take a lot of these side branches off. In fact, we'll take all of the side branches off. I'm going to keep that one because that's another good contender for a medium one. I'm going to do something with the base of these in a minute, but I'm just trimming them down for now, so we'll just keep going and trimming And so we've got some nice straight stalks with a bit of foliage at the top. So these are now our contenders, and I have to say they're a lot easier to handle. And now that I've taken a lot of the foliage off, one of the reasons I took quite a lot of the foliage off is it's not got any roots on it, and you don't want those leaves transpiring moisture, because you don't want them to dry out before they've got roots on. If you've got too many leaves, you cut some of them off, and if the leaves are quite large, you can actually cut the leaf in half with some scissors. Right, let's get on now with processing the bottom end of these cuttings. Let's start off with one of the slightly larger ones. Now you can see the original branch there. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to cut it just below a growing point. That's a leaf node, and I'm going to make a diagonal cut across. That's waste. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sharp craft knife, and I'm going to just slice off a bit of the bark, you can see there. And now on the opposite side to that, I'm going to make a vertical slit through the bark. Let me explain what I'm doing. I'm scarring the bark, and I'm causing damage to the bark, and where that damage is where the roots will grow. So it's already wet, so it's going into the rooting powder, and you can see now it's covered in rooting powder. I'm going to put it in here. This is a plastic pot which will help retain moisture around the bottom end of this branch. I'm not using terracotta. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a cane as a dibber to make a hole, and I'm going to put it down the edge, because down the edge here this plastic will help to keep it wet. And I'm making a hole because I don't want the friction of the soil when I push it in to take off the rooting hormone. So that goes in there like that, and now I'll use my dibber just to bed it in. So that's one done. I shall now put another 3 in here, but I will do another demonstration. So again, look for a little leaf node, make a diagonal cut because that's where there's a concentration of hormone. Remove some of the bark to scar it, and then just make a vertical cut. And just to repeat myself, this is where the roots will start to form. Cover it in rooting hormone. I'm going to use the same pot in with the dibber to make a hole. Don't forget this has already been watered. Put it in the hole. Firm it in. And I will apply exactly the same technique to both the small, medium and large cuttings. So again, I'm repeating myself. Snip off, scar, and a vertical line into the bark, into the rooting hormone. And that's a medium one, so that can go into the medium pot. Down the edge where it's nice and wet because of the plastic. I'll firm it in. It's easy enough, isn't it? Too many leaves on this, so we shall remove some. And some of these leaves are quite large, so I shall cut them in half. So there we go. My olive tree cuttings. I will place these in a situation which is sheltered from wind. I don't want them moving about in the wind, where it will not be freezing, it will not be too light, and it will not be too warm, and I will keep them moist, and I will leave them. I will try my best not to interfere with these, as tempted as I might be to explore. And next spring, the first signs we will get are that these will start to produce new leaves and potentially roots out of the base. Then we can separate them and pot them up. Now I might have more than I need, in which case I can give some away to friends as presents. Olive tree cuttings, don't forget, olives love drainage. Always remember where they come from. Very rocky, arid, well-drained soils, long, hot, sunny days when they're established. And if you're keeping them in pots, let them almost dry out between watering, because the last thing you want is an olive sitting in water, because it'll just get root rot. There we go. Don't forget, check out my new club, Mark's House and Garden UK Club. There's a link in the description box below this video, and you will be entered into my monthly draws for the giveaway gift bundle. I'll see you soon for some more olive tree cutting adventures. Bye for now.